Welcome back to Inside the Pride. We've got a treat this week, and it is the voice of the Detroit Lions, Dan Miller, 19 years strong in that radio booth. You called Sunday's game against the Rams. Have you ever experienced Ford Field like it was for Sunday Night Football?
No. First, thank you for having me, Danny. Appreciate it. But it was, look, man, we haven't had that happen there before. And I think what you saw was, for those fans, 30 years or more of just pent-up emotions that they were ready to let out, and they've waited for that opportunity to have a game there. And we already know that building's loud, and we already know that building can impact opponents. But this was another level. This was nothing I'd ever seen before. It was amazing.
Shout out to Chris Frisching, who is the PA announcer at Ford Field. I don't know if someone was telling him to treat second downs like they were third downs, and that Detroit Lions crowd was just going wild while the Rams were on offense.
I think Alex Anzalone told a lot of people what to do, and I think they listened. He said, make noise before they get in the huddle. Don't just wait for them to come to the line of scrimmage. And I think what Alex said resonated with people, because the first time that LA came out there, as they went in, I heard the crowd go up, and I'm like, they listened to 34. That's awesome.
They did. But that's just a lot of energy to muster up during the entire game. There wasn't a lapse at any point Sunday.
Well, I think because the Lions started so fast, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, and LA was keeping up, that it was going back and forth like that, that it didn't ever make you feel like, okay, I can let down right now. No, I think they were just engaged, and I think, man, they just love this team, and they love that atmosphere, and I think that atmosphere just starts to feed on itself. And they just, can we get louder? Can we get louder? Let's get louder. And it was just like, it was really just beautiful.
You've been in the radio booth since '05. That was your 4th playoff game that you called for these Detroit Lions. Where does that game stack up for you in your career, 19 years in that booth?
Oh, it's number one. I mean, there have been other games that have meant something. You know, 2011, when they made the playoffs, the big win over the Chargers, and Ford Field was just nuts. And it was the recovery from 0-16, and it was like, okay, we're through that now. It's in the past, and you made the playoffs. And Cliff Avrill's pick 6 was just, I thought the roof was going to come off. So there's been other moments where you've felt the electricity and just the incredible vibe at Ford Field, but to win a playoff game, and just, Danny, this season just feels different. Some of those other years in the playoffs, it was great you made it. This feels different because you sense this group is building something real, something with staying power, something that has, you know, the structure that you have to be a winning team consistently in the league. So you felt like this was an opportunity. 1, you didn't want to let get by. And 2, you darn sure wanted to experience.
It would be hard to imagine that what they're building stops in this division round.
Yeah.
It really is tough to imagine.
Well, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. It is, Dan Campbell has said many times, when you're in it, anything can happen. And this team coming in is hot. They've won 6 out of 7. They've got big time players, and they're coming in here thinking they want to get to the NFC Championship game just like the Lions. Look, it's about going out there and playing. And the one thing that Dan Campbell has done since he walked in the door is have his guys ready for every game. And I have no doubt they'll be ready for this one.
All right, you've been in the studio all week talking to head coach multiple times, being around these players. What's your prediction for this Sunday? What's going down? What do the Lions need to do to win?
You know what? They need to do what they've been doing. Just play clean. Don't turn it over. Don't give Tampa easy possessions, short fields, points off their defense, which they can get. They've got guys that take the ball away, really talented players. So play clean and just go out there and do what you've been doing, because the recipe has been a good one.
It sure has been. You heard it first. Play-by-play Dan Miller, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.